Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. For some days now, there is a story that has been making headlines, and I feel it's important we have a look at the story. But before we do that, let's first of all look at the background of that story. Last year, November, a UDA Member of Parliament, Fafi Mp, Salah Yakub, shocked very many Kenyans when he said the presidential term limit in Kenya should be removed. And that was meant to please William Ruto and to make sure Parliament initiates the process of removing presidential term limit for William Ruto to contest as many times as he may wish. That was last year. About 3 days ago, the same Member of Parliament, taking to his Twitter handle, or rather his X account, he shared out this. Kindiki Kithure, Aipoa Kenya. Very unfortunate that police officers at Nyayo House are mishandling the general public, and today I fell a victim, roughed up, and seriously assaulted. Sustained injuries at my left foot and arm. So this Member of Parliament, a year later, after calling for the scrapping of the presidential term limit, a year later, he's crying out for help. He's crying out for justice. He has faced the police brutality. He's crying out for help. I want us to dig deep into this for Kenyans to understand what this means politically. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Let's proceed. Things are happening very, very fast in Kenya, and it might be possible that the gods are trying to open Kenyans' eyes for them to see things clearly. William Ruto has just been in power for slightly over 1 year, and already those who supported him are complaining more than even those who never supported Ruto. They are seriously suffering because Ruto has failed to actualize the promises or to fulfill the promises he made to these people. And recently a survey was done by TIFA, a survey that showed that 77% of Kenya Kwanza supporters are saying economic-wise things were better in Uhuru Kenyatta's government than in a William Ruto's government. Those are Kenya Kwanza supporters, and they are complaining in just slightly over 1 year. After just 1 year, they are already disillusioned. They are already fed up of a William Ruto's presidency. During Azimio's demonstrations, we saw the police being used very badly to injure and to maim the demonstrators. These members of parliament now complaining of police brutality. They were supporting the government, and they were even urging the government to be more brutal on Azimio supporters. And we also saw what happened in Meru, where police officers were clearly being used to block the governor, Meru Governor Mwangaza, from meeting the people. Mwangaza had some activities in her county, but the police were being used to block her from meeting Meru residents. All these leaders have been silent as the police were being used badly against Azimio supporters. So what goes around comes around. The only unfortunate bit about it, Kenyans will never learn. But these are very clear signals that if there were people who can learn, they could have learned something from all these events. Back to this member of parliament, he called for the scrapping of the presidential term limit, and that meant William Ruto was to rule for many terms as he deemed fit for him. And that could obviously come with William Ruto being a dictator, and the police were going to be used to cement William Ruto's dictatorship. In the event the presidential term limit could have been removed, then the police were going to be used to cement William Ruto's dictatorship, and instances of police brutalities were going to increase. This member of parliament, a signal is just being sent to him to see early enough that his quest for the removal of the presidential term limit can lead this country into a form of a police state, where now the president, the strong leader, will be using the police to flex his aura muscles, And it does not matter on which side of the political divide you are. If you dare cross the line, then you will be treated just like any other person, irrespective of party or political affiliations. That's the clear message this member of parliament ought to understand. His quest for the removal of the presidential term limits, that quest was only going to install a strong leader who would now then use the police to cement his rule. I think that's the message being sent here. So what goes around comes around. This MP, as much as he thought he was pleasing William Ruto, that has backfired. It has backfired. He's in actual sense reaping what he wanted to sow. Yes, what he wanted to sow. That's what this member of parliament is reaping. And that goes on to warn other Kenyans that when you see your neighbor or your enemy or a fellow Kenyan being mistreated, irrespective of party affiliations, we should all stand for the truth. Because it will just go around, and the same kind of mistreatment your fellow Kenyan is being subjected to, you will also just go through that. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. Just as I did indicate when we were starting, if you are watching us but you have not yet subscribe, give this video a like. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.
So tusidanganyane, tuseme tu kweli. Hata saa hizi tukikuja hapa, mimi niliambiwa maybe nikipanda gari nitapata kitu kidogo. Kusema tu kweli. Tuseme kweli. Nikaona nikikuja labda nitapata kale kadogo, ninunue sukuma. Hiyo ndio imenileta my friend. Ukweli wa Mungu. Nasherekea, maybe wadozi wa Kenya ndio wanasherekea. nimekuja na njaa.
Ulipiga kura mwaka uliopita. Matarajio yako yamefikiwa?
Matarajio hajafikiwa hata kidogo.
Ulikuwa unatarajia nini?
Nilikuwa natarajia maisha, angalau maisha isikue vile ilikuwa. Lakini kenye nimeona Kenya, nasema hata ni heri kuwa umbwa Kenya kuliko kuwa binadamu. Manake umbwa itakula kwa mtaro bila kuhangaika. Huku industry ukienda unapigwa makofi, saa zingine unalala njaa, unafanya kazi. Lakini umbwa italala njaa Kenya. Itatembea mahali popote ikikula.